Welcome back. Hello guys, this is CodeLytical, and in this section we're going to continue our client support system. We'll be looking at the staff and then the customer management, where admin can create staff, can create customers, then we can also manage staff and also manage customers. Okay, so without wasting much time, let's go straight. So I'll continue by logging in as an admin using the credentials kwesi@gmail.com, and the password to is Kwesi, capital KESI. That's it. I'll log in. All right, now that I've logged in, let's open our code base. Okay, now because we have session and our session is being set to 5 minutes, I want to increase the time so that we can have a full testing of applications. So I'll go to the session side, then change the 5 to say 30 minutes. Save it. Then now go to the system again. Let me reload, but before that, let me log out and log in again. All right. Okay. We'll talk about the dashboard in our previous video. That is the first part. Here, let's go to the code again. Then go to the admin side. So inside the admin side, these are the code, the files we have. So we go straight to the new stuff. Okay, so let's go to the new stuff. So here is the place we use to add new stuff. That is, if you want to create a new stuff, this is the form. Okay, so let's go to the code. So inside the code, we've included our header. That is, when you go to the include, you see the header. That is where we store our *8, the CSS files, and also we've included our config, and then we started our session all inside the header. Okay. So after that, we've also created a separate file for our loader. That is, when you go to the include, you see a loader. This is our loader. We've created a separate because we want our code to be clean, so we've sectioned it. All right, now we've also added our top bar. The top bar, let's go to the include. You see the top bar. This is our top bar. So the top bar basically is care of the, so let's go to the code. This is the part where we have the name, the profile. That is where we have that is what we call the top bar. Okay. All right. So now you can go to the code. Here, because we are using one form, that is the new stuff, we are using it to do both the adding of new stuff and also editing of the stuff. We've created our getter. That is when we check anytime we are opening this page. That is, anytime we are opening the new stuff.php, we check if we are coming from an edit or we just want to insert a new record. So that's why you see this code. So this code is used to check whether we are coming from edit side or not. All right, so we have the personal details, the input, we have the ID to be first name, then the name. We also have the middle name ID to be middle name, then the name, middle name. Also created another input, you have the last name. So these are the ones that we will be using to send our post request. We also have our contact, we have the address. Then now when you look at the form, you can see that we have the personal details and also the system credentials. So the system credentials, we have the department, and also we have the email, password, and then confirm password. We also have our user type here. So when you go to the code to consider, we have the system credentials. Okay. So this is the code to get the department. Since it's going to be a drop down, we are populating it. So as we said, we are first checking. So we check if we are coming from the edit section. We are checking using the department ID we get from the getter from the top. Okay, so we check check, then we echo. Okay, so that is what we use to populate the item. Otherwise, if you are not getting any value, we disable it. Then we have our select department. So anytime we are coming to add a new stuff, we are going to get something like selected department. But if you are coming from the edit side, we are going to populate this department, the first value with the one we passed from wherever we're coming from. Okay, so we also have our email, which has an ID email and also a name email. We have our password, and a password, you can see we have another label saying leave this blank if you don't want to change the password. But when it comes to the form here, they are not seeing it. So we are only showing this from when we are only showing this label whenever you are editing the stuff. Okay, so that is it for that one. So let's try adding a new stuff. So here I'll use Steven. Let's leave the middle name. So let's say Atta, phone number 020, then address, let's say Ashale School Junction. Okay, so let's select a department. Okay, so department, we are getting empty because we don't have department. So before that, let's add department first. So let's open the department. My bad, sorry guys. The department, let's say IT department. Information Technology Department. Okay, so let's save this. So inserted successfully. So since we've talked about the department, let's go to the code and look at the department. All right, so this has been added. So let's pause the stuff, then go to department. Department. So this is the department. So this is the department. So this is the modal sheet. We when we click on the add department, we open. So when you click on the add department, we open this modal sheet, and this is the code for it. So we have add contact. That's the modal 13. Okay. Here to our input values, we have the name is d name, and also the for the description, the text area, the name is description. So here we are using a JavaScript to do the insertion, the post request. So when you go down, you can see we have our save button and also our edit button. Now with the save button, we are getting the save button, the ID from this button. When you go up, that is when you scroll up, you can see save button from here. Okay, so this save button is the one we are seeing at this side. Okay, so save or cancel. Let's look at our JavaScript. Inside the JavaScript, we first of all create the variable data. We create our data to hold the variables we are going to insert into the PHP code. We have the D name that is going to come from the class, that is the D name. We also have the description coming from a class, the description. So we are saying we are getting the value from the name, that is the D name, and also we are declaring a variable called description to get the value from the description text area. That is when you go up, you can see this description. It's a class description. So whenever we call the description, it means we are referring to this text area. All right, so let's go to our code again. And also here we are setting an action to be a save because we are going to make a save. Here we check if the data dot the name or trim is null, that is if it's empty, and the description too is empty, we show a warning sign. So and try for you to see. If I click on it like this, list all fields are required. Okay, we are using this one too. And also inside the IAS code, we've created a function, and this function stores all the codes for the department. So I called it a department function. Now when you go inside the department function, we have the save function, that is save department as a function. We also have the delete department as a function. Now we've written this code to make our check. So if you could remember, inside the department, we added an action to our data that we are sending to the PHP code. And here we are saying the action is called save. So inside the department function, we check. First of all, we check if we have any post request. If we've sent a post request called, a post request called action. Then we check if the action is equal to update. We do an update. We also check again if the action that we are sending is equal to save. Then we do a save. We perform a save request. So here we are saying the post request we sent as part of the data. That is, if you go to the department, the post request we sent as part of the data, we have a D name, then a description. So here we are saying we create a variable called D name. Make sure it holds the post request D name. Also create another variable called description. And we make sure it stores the post request called description. After that, then we pass it to our save department, because when we go up, you can see that we have our save department here. And because we want whatever we do here, we want to return the response inside our JavaScript code. That is why we are echoing everything. So we are echoing it as a response. So whatever response, we store it here. And if it's successful, inside the IAS code or IAS code, when you come here, we check if the response that is coming dot the status is equal to success. That means our record is being saved successfully. Then we display this message. Then after we display this message, then we reload the page again. Otherwise, if it is not success, then we throw this error message. Else, whenever we are getting an error, then we catch it at this side. So basically, that is it for the save department. The same thing applies to the edit. So you can go through, then let us know in the description wherever you have issue or you don't understand anything. Then let us help with the explanation. All right, so that is what we did to add the department. Let's add another one, HR department. So I'll say human resources. Okay, I also save that one. Okay, so the page will be reloaded. Okay, so now that we've added two departments, let's go back to our staff, new staff. Okay, so I'll add the name again, Steven. I'll leave the middle name. So let's say Atta surname. I'll add the phone number. I'll add address. Ashale School Junction. All right. I'll select a department and here I'll choose IT. I'll enter password for this stuff. I'll say Steven, capital S. The email, sorry. So Steven at gmail.com. Password, I'll say Steven. So confirm password, Steven. So here I'm going to select a staff for the user, not admin. So I'll select the staff. I'll leave it as it is. Then after I'll click submit. Say staff member added successfully. So this one, so let's look at the code that we use for the submitting. Okay, so here inside the new staff, we also have a function, a PHP function that will be handled, that will use the JavaScript code to do the submitting. So that one too is called staff functions. So let's open the staff functions. So inside the staff functions too, we have our updates, record, staff records. We also have add staff records. We also have delete staff. Then this is the post request method that we are using to check. Now we did the code in such a way that it will be clean, so that whenever you want to use this project or even use the code, you can use it anywhere in your project or whatever you want to do. You can just do the how it is and apply it. Okay, so inside the new stuff, the same thing. We have the staff updates. So let's look at the staff add first. So we have a staff add. This one, we created a variable data. as an object to hold our first name, middle name. First name is coming from the ID first name dot the value. So it means that the value that we input in the first name input field, we get it, then we store it as first name. The same thing for the middle name, last name, contact, address, department, in that order. After we do our check to make sure we are not sending an empty values. So we check if any of the fields are empty, we show this, please all fields are required. After we also make sure the password and the confirmed password are the same. So we also do a check if the data or the password or trim is not equal to the confirmed password. We also show a nice error message that the password and confirmed password do not match. Okay. After that, now inside our IaaS or AJAS, we still have our staff score functions. Here too, should take note of something here. So here the action we are sending is staff add. So when we go to our staff functions, inside our post actions, we check if the action we are sending is equal to staff add. It means that we are referring to this code. So it means we should be able to insert the data. Okay, so if the action we are expecting is staff dash add, then we do all these things, then we make sure we set the response we get to be equal to, because this is going to return something. So there's something that it will return after it is successful. We store it as a variable called response. Then now we echo the response. When we echo the response, you are going to get it from our JavaScript code. So that is it. And here to we check after the IaaS, we make our post to the URL staff underscore functions. If it is successful, then we call this success message. So we say if the response or status is equal to success, that means we are getting a success in the status. Then we echo this message. After that, we reload the page. Otherwise, if we are getting error, we show the error message. That is the else message, sorry. Then now, if we have error in our code, we use this error to display it. So that is it basically for the new underscore staff. So the code is the same thing. The staff dash add, it works the same thing as the update. So you can also go through that one and let us know in the description where, let's say, you didn't get it well, you want more clarification, can contact us. Then we do just it to it. Okay. So now we've added we've added a staff. When we go to the staff list, you can see the one we added. That is, I'm Steven. So here, if I click on this, I can get the option to edit and delete. So let's say edit and click on the edit. Yeah, you get this label as I said. So this label will only show this one when you are coming to edit. Let the user know that you can leave this password column blank because you are editing. It means you've already added the records. So here, let's add a middle name, say Knight. So Steven Knight Atta, and let's update it. Staff member updated successfully. All right, it will reload the page and bring us to the. So that is it basically. Can also delete it. Let's delete it. Click on delete. Are you sure you want to? Are you sure you won't be able to revert this? Yes, delete it. Then we delete it. Staff member deleted successfully. Then you load the page. That is it basically. All right, so now you are done with the staff. Let's go to the customer page. So new customer, let me open the code for new customer, can close the other ones, close others so that we can get more room for customers. So let me open the customer functions first, then also new customer. All right, but before we add the customer, let's go to the customer list. When you go to the customer list, you see that it is empty and we are using some nice data to show and a nice image to show that there's no data. Okay, so now when you go to the new customer, it works the same in a similar way as we did for the add staff. So it's the same thing. I'm not going to waste much time here. So here too, we are making a check for the new aim. We are saying if the rule is set rule, that is the one that gets we make, that is anytime we are coming to the new customer, we make a check to see if we are coming from the edit session or we are just coming as a new to insert a new customer. All right, So we check that one, we make a check. So we say if it's set is of the arrow row, or if it is not empty. That means if there's something there, that is this row, if it's not empty, we don't we don't show this. So if it is not empty, we show this. Sorry, if it is not empty, we show this. If it is not empty, if it is empty, we don't show this. All right, so that is it. Then the button to the same thing, because we want to show both the update and then submit, either the update and then the submit. So we check if the row is not empty. That means there's record already there. Then that means we are coming to update. Otherwise, we show the submit. So this one to the same thing. We are using the JavaScript functionality to be doing our addition and then update. So when you go to the functions, that's customer underscore functions, we have the update customer records. We have these functions. It's the same the PHP way, but this one we are using the prepared one. We also have add customer. Okay, the functionality is there. Delete. Then here is where we do our checks. Then we insert. So here we check if the action that is coming is update customer. It means we have to call this. Otherwise, if the action that is coming is a customer add, it means we have to use this. Else, if it is delete customer, then it means we are going to use this. So that is it basically for the code. So the same thing applies to the adding new stuff. Code is similar. You can just go through and let us know. So let's add a customer so that we see how the flow works. So here I'll just enter any customer name. So let's say Sandra leave. Then here say Annan. You enter a contact. Let's choose this. Okay. So here, since a customer, we don't have any department. So Sandra at gmail.com. So password capital S Sandra. Right? Sandra. That is the password. So let's click submit. Customer member added successfully. So we've added one customer. Let's go to the customer list. And go to the customer list. You are going to see that there's one customer added. So that is it. This is the customer. Let's click on the update. So we are going to edit. So when it comes, the same thing. So let's say Sandra BB Annan. All right. So we are not going to update the password. We leave it as it is. Let's click on update. Customer member updated successfully. All right. So basically, that is it for the customer side. Sorry, that's it for the adding of staff, then a customer. That is staff and customer management. We are done with this one. And also we added the department. So in our next section, we are going to look at the ticket management and also try to log in as a staff, try to log in as a customer to see how the others work. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe to this video. This is CodeLytical, anything code. Thank you. Thank you.